start early so I can start joining in. Oh my gosh, Julian's eating on the live.
Maybe not.
Mm-mm. We'll wait for people to start hopping on. Alrighty, got you guys. I see you guys are coming on. I'm gonna give it another minute. I know we're having some people still coming in. Let's see. I'll turn the fan on real quick, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, Paul? Just saw you in another meeting a second ago. It's like meetings galore today. It feels like. Tim says I'm not interested. Me neither, Tim. Me either. Cool. So today we're going to be talking about some objections training. Alrighty. And I'm probably going to I might have to grab a charger. I think I'll be good. But James says, what's up, Tim? I'm hoping you're talking to Tim in the comments and not me. I'm not Tim. I get that quite a lot, honestly. But if you are talking to Tim in the comments, hell yeah. If not, that's awkward. What's up, Joe? Nice to see you, my friend. It says Facebook user for your username. But yeah, we're gonna go over some. Some objections today. So if you guys want to comment some stuff down below, some objections that you guys are running into, I'm just going to kind of touch a little bit on those today. Just kind of some things that are super easy to overcome typically, but oftentimes we crack under the pressure. Biggest thing is just drilling those with repetition. And it's important to make sure that you're able to get, kind of different insights from people in different parts of the business, et cetera, et cetera. Your display name is Julian since you're not using my Zoom. Thank you, Tim. It says my name right here. But I'm curious, what objections are you guys running into in the field that you either don't like to hear or that you do hear, that you just maybe either crack under the pressure, usually you miss the deal on, or maybe, whatever, right? Some common ones that I hear are send me a quote and I'll talk to my wife. That's one objection. This one is kind of more of a pre-framing thing. Whenever you're talking about getting people who are hitting you with the wife objection, it's usually because you didn't ask for them to bring their wife to the appointment. And if you didn't get the wife to the appointment, which I would highly recommend doing every time, you can always rely on past agreements, right? So whenever you're going for past agreements, it's like, oh, okay, gotcha. I mean, and I'm curious, Tim, do you think that your wife is gonna be pissed off if you left her, $20,000? Do you think that she would be, negatively affected by that? And they're like, oh, well, no, I don't think so. I'm like, oh, okay, gotcha. Have you guys talked about this before? No. Okay. If they haven't talked about it before, it's a little bit of a different story, so then you just kind of basically, tell them a story about how someone that you signed up in the past, wife didn't never get mad and so on and so forth, and then go for the order again. If they have talked about it, okay, gotcha. And was she planning to does she want you to get life insurance to make sure that she's not, homeless or, financially responsible for all that stuff? Oh, okay, gotcha. And then, if you're bold enough, which I'll always say this as well, but we can even call your wife right now, man, and make sure that she's kind of filled in on the loop. And what we can do, pardon me, guys, I'm a little sick, but be like, also what we can do is make sure that, you're not stuck in a situation where you're having to pay for the bill if something were to happen to her. I'm always going to try and get the husband and the wife in the appointment though. And so I'll start by doing that on the front end when I'm setting the appointment and being like, hey, let's make sure to bring your wife here, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't have a life to insure. I'm dead. Downside of selling life insurance at a cemetery. Yes. Any other objections? I don't have time at the moment, okay, then I would just set an appointment there if they're serious. Sometimes they're just bullshitting you because you sound like a salesman. So it's either a tonality issue or whenever you're calling to set the appointment, obviously, or whenever you're calling, if you're trying to go call to close, if they say they don't have time, just set an appointment and go from there. Not interested. I already took care of it. Oh, okay, gotcha. And just so I can take you off the list here, Tim, I can take something back to my boss, so he'll take you off and everything. Doesn't send any more funny looking guys like me out here. Who'd you end up going with? If you're face to face, that one works. If you're not face to face, and you're over the phone, you can say it pretty similarly. Just make sure you say it faster. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So just basically so I can take you off the list and tell my boss to take a flying leap. I got to make a note here. Who'd you end up going with? They'll tell you, and then I'll give you the opportunity to get your foot in the door to be able to pick apart the policy to replace it if it needs to be. I need to shop around. If they need to shop around, it's probably because they didn't see any value in what you're talking about. I would reevaluate your pitch currently, but if they did say it and you presented them with a value offer, then I would tell them, oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. So, based off what I'm looking at, and this is why I present this every time when I'm selling insurance on the front end, so I don't run into this objection. It's look up the concept called objection blocking. Super, super helpful. But basically, if you're like, I need to shop around, that means I didn't explain it on the front end better. So what I would say prior to that is like, and by the way, Tim, just so we're on the same page, I'm a national broker. So I work with all the insurance companies, nationwide, not nationwide, the company, but around the country, I mean. And the reason I'm saying that is because the option that we're going to pick for you today is actually going to be the best option I have based off of your health and obviously, whatever fits in your budget as well. And so the thing is that my job basically today is to find you the best thing out there, because if I don't, and somebody else calls you peddling something better, you would probably want to go with them, right? And they're going to say, yeah, of course, if I get a better deal, et cetera, et cetera. Gotcha. And so that's why I always find you the best deal, right? I'm not going to try and put you in a position where you have to talk to somebody else to do business with them. Because if I did do that, then that would make me a really bad insurance agent, wouldn't it? Right? And they're gonna be like, yeah, right, exactly. Like, okay, gotcha, cool. So I'm gonna jump straight into things. That'll take that objection out of the way if you say that. Murph does it. I Aldi have life insurance. I hope that's not a pun. If it is, please do better, Tim. But I see that you're saying you already have life insurance. It's going to be the same thing as like not interested. I already took care of it. Oh, okay, gotcha. And Tim, just so I can take you off the list here and tell my boss to take a flying leap, which company did you end up going with? And then they'll tell you. The reason why that one works so well is because you're third partying it, and third party blame always trumps personal responsibility in a sales appointment, by the way, and customer service if you don't know that. Paul Powers, I lose some of these seniors when we get to the e-sign. I'm going to do voice signature from now on, even if it's slightly higher. Why are you losing them to the e-sign, Paul? Explain a little more about that in the comments. Is it because they don't know how to sign, or is it because they don't feel comfortable signing with you? Please let me know. What other objections are you guys running into? And if I don't see any in the comments here, I'm just going to start whipping objections out and showing you guys how to overcome them. But while I'm waiting for everyone to comment, one that I think is really prevalent that a lot of people are afraid to comment on is I need to think about it. So I'm going to cover that one real quick. So let's say that I'm talking to Miss Jones and she hits me with the same old song and dance, and I'm just not having it. Right? So she says, I need to think about it. Oh, okay, gotcha. And absolutely, Tim, I think it'd be stupid not to think about it. Wouldn't you agree? And they're like, oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, man. They think they've won the battle. And then I come up out of nowhere with this left hook like Mike Tyson. And I'm like, so what the company actually does is they let us space everything out up to 30 days so that we can go ahead and fill out the paperwork to see if you even get accepted. And then from there, you're actually able to think about it once they've decided whether or not they're going to even accept you. And then I'll literally just go straight back into doing the application. They struggle with it. I end up spending half an hour before I finally get them through. Yeah, Paul, man, seniors and e-sign is like, my gosh, it is ridiculous, man. It's like, freaking drinking beer for breakfast. Just the worst thing ever. But, you know, if you got people that are struggling with e-sign, go for the verbal sign, like you were saying. Yeah, it is unreal. You're not lying, man. Go for verbal sign, text sign. If you can get text sign, that one's usually pretty simple. I've had really good luck with a lot of clients doing the e-signs, honestly. But if you've got just an absolute clown show, voice sign or text sign will usually work. And if one doesn't work, you can just switch over to another method. But jeez, I'm always gonna try and go with one of the text sign which carrier. Oh gosh, it's been a while since I filled out an app, man. I think I think don't quote me on this, but I think Mutual of Omaha does it. I'm not quite sure. I know Royal Neighbor. Here, I'll tell you who my favorite for telesales are. It's Royal Neighbors, um, AMAM. AMAM's my favorite all time. I think they have text. I'm not sure. AMAM, Royal Neighbors, and then what is it, America? Hold on, let me think. Mutual of Omaha is not bad. They just take forever, so I don't really like them personally for that reason. But I like to go AMAM Royal Neighbors if possible. But it just depends at the end of the day. Those are my two favorite. And Aetna. Aetna's really easy. I think John Hancock's really easy too, but I've never written that one. Why would I buy it from you when I can buy it from the TV for $9 a month? Your shit's expensive. I actually heard this one quite a bit when I used to door knock and stuff. But if somebody's gonna tell me like my shit's too expensive, I'd be like, oh man, did they get you with the fine print? You're gonna be like, what do you mean the fine print? They'll get all attitudey and be like, yeah. So when they say that it's $9 a month, what they're actually meaning is that it's $9 a month per unit, which is for every $1,000 that you get. Now, when they say that, they make sure to leave that part off so that you'll call them up and get signed up. And so what it actually will end up being is, and I'll just multiply the amount of coverage that they're getting by that number, and I'll show them that it ends up costing more than what they're getting with me. And it's like Facebook and approving ads. What does that even mean? Unreal text sandwich carrier, not an objection. Oh, yeah, it is. I see what you mean, Tim. Never mind. Now I get it. The Facebook ads thing. Not an objection, but what about a potential client that needs some info he wants to look at before the first Zoom meeting? If a client wants to look at information before a first Zoom meeting, I would ask them what specifically they want to see. They'll say something stupid, and then it's our time to educate them on the fact that we work with tons of companies, and before knowing what they qualify for, it doesn't really help us to offer them any information because we don't even know if they qualify for any of the programs yet, which is why we're having the phone call. And then obviously we don't want to be a dick about it, right? I don't want to be a dick. I don't want to be just coming out and being like, yeah, man, if I had information to send you, I would freaking send it right now, but I don't. So just hop on the call. Like, I'm not trying to be a savage or anything. I'm just gonna be like, Mr. Jones, I'm not quite sure. What would you like me to send over before our meeting? And they're gonna be like, well, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Be like, I can send you a link to some Google stuff or whatever. Like but it's the same stuff that you can look up. Cause the thing is I work with, hundreds of companies. They have between them, thousands of programs. I just don't even know if you'd qualify for any of them yet. So, I don't really know if it makes sense because it's all based off of your health, which is why we have to have the phone call. So we'll kind of go over what that looks like on the phone there. But does that make sense? Just kind of like dispel that, get rid of that. Because what Paul Powers is saying is they're trying to disqual when they do that. They're trying to get out of the phone call, right? They're trying to make sure that they don't have to talk to you. They don't want to talk to you because they know they're going to get closed. That print is so fine, bro. Yeah, Tim says that. Yeah, the fine print really is crazy. 9 per unit, absolutely. Definitely use it. And I'm always looking to sow doubt in the mind of the consumer whenever they try to throw me off as just fact finding, right? I'm not like sowing doubt maliciously. I'm just trying to figure out like if they actually know what they're talking about or not. Because what you'll find is that most people have the wrong type of insurance, and it's pretty rough, because you'll have people who die all the time without life insurance, and just because you don't know how to ask the right question and they think they had it doesn't mean that they did. Most of the time, they bought it in the mail, don't know what they have. It's renewable term. They have a IUL from the 80s that's falling apart, going to implode. They've got an accidental death and dismemberment. They think they've got billions of dollars in life insurance, but it's actually just one of those fingerprint cards they got for their kid that was advertising insurance in the packet as well, and they just don't know. So just make sure you're asking the right questions. AMM is just the agent reading a script to a client on a recorded line. Once a call is done, the RX is run and decision comes back. Pretty easy. Yep. What other objections do you guys have for me? I'm gonna find another one. This one I've been talking about this one. I talked about this one earlier today on a mastermind call that I was doing with a ton of people that are in our programs, and I don't have my banking information, or I don't give out my banking information over the phone. So if you're, oh my gosh, if you're following my framework for sales using the Skeleton Key script, then you're more than likely going to run into this at some point. This is one of the objections that's really, really hard to get around. And I don't want to lose the client on this, right? Because they're going to shit test you. I don't want to give you my social security number. That's another one. Whenever somebody tells me that they don't have banking, right, I'm going to be like, oh, okay, gotcha. Well, I'm not going to straight out, flat out ask for banking. Instead, I'm going to be like, hey, so, who do you bank with, by the way? They're going to be like, oh, I bank with Wells Fargo. Nobody's guarding that information. Who they bank with. I don't find it weird for whatever reason. And I'll be like, oh, okay, gotcha. And Wells Fargo, and that's in Minnesota, right? Oh, okay, gotcha. And is that where you got, you opened your account in Minnesota? Okay, gotcha. Yeah. All right. Well, cool. I've got my system just uploaded your routing number. All I need is your account number. If you want to grab a blank check, it'll be to the right of the colon on the bottom half of the check. And I'm ready for that number whenever you are. And I'll just chill. I'm not going to say anything else. I don't need to do anything else. I just need to relax, just let them get the number for me. And if they're like, well, I don't give my information out over the phone, et cetera, I go, oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. I mean, and if you want to get technical, you can use the Patriot Act, or you can be like, oh, well, gotcha. I mean, I'm not going to be able to finish this application without getting you, without getting this over to you. And, the most important thing is finding out whether or not you even qualify. And, if your wife, your wife's going to end up, if we don't get you qualified, your wife's going to get stuck with this bill of X amount, right? And so I'm always going to talk about that on the front end, your wife this, your wife that. And I make banking seem like it's the last step. So, oh, we're almost done, whatever. All we have to do is, and then just go ahead and grab that number for me. But usually people won't give you any pushback if you say that your banking information auto-populates. Let's see. Let me think about it, or I will have to talk to my husband. I covered these two earlier in the live. Quick recap. Let me think about it. Oh, yeah, of course. I encourage you to think about it. And, I think you'd be stupid not to. Wouldn't you agree? Yes, exactly. And then I'm just going to let them know they have a 30-day space out for their payment. Go from there, ask for the order, continue through the app. So I will have to talk to my husband. Jeez. I'll have to talk to my husband. Is the same as I said earlier. Just go into past agreements. Hey, have you and your wife ever talked about this? Okay, gotcha. I'm sure she was in full agreement when you said you wanted to get something to make sure that she wasn't going to end up getting stuck with a $20,000 bill. Is that correct? Yes. Okay, perfect. Gotcha. Well, tell you what, man. Why don't we go ahead and get you signed up? We can space out that payment. Make sure you guys have a chance to talk about it. In fact, we can call her right now. You want to do that? No. I don't want to. She's at work. Oh, okay, gotcha. Cool. Well, yeah, let's just go ahead and knock this out while you got me, and we'll schedule a time with her to go over everything. And then, does she have anything like this in place currently? No, we haven't done it yet. Oh, okay, gotcha. So it sounds like we're going to need to do something for her then too, because God forbid something happens to her. I mean, you're just going to be the one left holding the bag. Is that right? That doesn't really seem fair for you to get insurance and her not to. And so I'll just kind of go from there. I don't want to give you my social security number. I usually, I don't really get this one a ton. I got it a couple times in the field, but it wasn't very common that I would get it because the way that I would ask for it is that I would be like, hey, and Paul, just to make sure that this pays out to the right Paul Powers, you'd be surprised how many are out there. I'm going to need your social real quick, and I'm ready for that whenever you are. I'll just shut up, let them talk, and I'll give it to you. Can't you just send me a bill in the mail? Well, and this is usually you'll get this at the door, over the phone, or when you're inside after you've asked for it, after you've asked for the order. If they ask for a bill in the mail, I'm just going to let them know that actually if it's on the front end of the conversation, I'm like, we've actually got to figure out whether or not you even qualify for any of these programs. I'm not really sure that we could even do anything for you yet, and so therefore we're going to have to kind of go over that first to see if I can even send it, even if there would be anything that I could send you in the mail. Okay. And then from there, I would just proceed back to the script and to the sale. If they said it with when I'm getting to banking and whatnot, I'd be like, it's not really, I'm on a secure line here, but it's not really secure for me to send financial information through the mail. So that's not something that we do here. We take our clients' safety very seriously and, our own. So I'm ready for that number whenever you are. And I would just go back to it. Right. But schedule a Zoom call or a FaceTime call. I had to do that with a guy over an hour away because they got called out of town. Aetna sends invoice for payment with quarterly payments. Yeah, I'm always going for monthly. I don't want quarterly typically. Usually people, they can't really do that or they're not disciplined enough to do that. If you can get somebody on a payment up front as much as possible, always do it. But, oftentimes people are just clown shows. There's a guy who did not want to give out Social Security or bank over info. Yeah, you'll run into that a lot. Facebook user. I don't know your name. I can't see it at all. But yeah, a lot of people will not want to give out social or banking over the phone. You should do a long form video showing every objection that you can hear in the field. Sure, I'll do that. I try to stay away from quarterly though. I would. Patriot Act for Social Security number. That's another good one. I think I was about to say it earlier, but I ended up going against it. But I've never really been huge on doing the Patriot Act. Like it's not been a part of my repertoire. I've used it before because it does do the job. But when I front end it by just saying like, hey, and Paul, just to make sure that this pays out to the right Paul Powers, you'd be surprised how many there are. If you go ahead and get that social for me, and we'll be able to put that in here or whatever, right? That usually I've never really had any struggle with that. If they do push back on that though, that's when I would pull out the Patriot Act. But I rarely ever have to, ever at all. And so it's a Social Security number for prescription check. Yeah, that works too. It's just whenever I'm doing the presentation, whenever I'm asking for social, it's just I don't really want to I'm not motivated to give you my social for your prescription check. I'm giving to you so that you can take it. When you make it about them giving you so that you can give to them, it's a mutualistic relationship. So when I say to them that it's an exchange, hey, just to make sure that it pays out to the right Paul Powers, what's your social? Then they're like, oh, okay, I'm getting paid. They have to make sure it goes to me and my family. That makes sense. But if I'm like, what's your social so I can do a prescription medication check? It's like you're asking for personal information to get more personal information from me. That's absolutely miserable, right? And so comment down below if you think you would want if you would want a video on every objection that you can run into on the phone or over the field. Let me know. I only meet face-to-face, don't know how to work the Zoom, or don't want to disclose the personal info over the Zoom. One I came across a while back and went out of state to meet and was a great close, made the trip worth it. Yeah, I mean, you can do face-to-face. That's what I did for the majority of my career. But it's not absolutely necessary. You can go to telesales. It's just making sure that you have the right structure and right formatting and the tonality that's in place to be able to be successful doing that. If you're struggling with that, let me know. you can hit me up on Facebook. My name is Julian Polito, and obviously I'm in the group. I run Insurance Agent Freedom with Tim, so feel free to reach out to me. Let's see. I like that. Agree. Okay, cool. That's your mom. It's your mom. We did Zoom call. The Facebook user. Oh, Facebook user is my mother. Okay, cool. I didn't know that. I was just saying like that. He's seeing that like it's your mom. That's your mom. I don't know if you guys are trying to play me. Telesales 100%. Let's see. Shakitha and me, no secrets. Yes. Telesales 100%. I am your mom. Yes. Okay, cool. What other questions do we have besides I am your mom? I keep seeing a lot of these mom comments. I'll show you guys a couple of them. There's the first I am your mom. Here is another one. We did Zoom call. It's your mom. That's your mom. Ton of mom situations going on over here. So now I'm getting her name. Cool. So anyways, what other objections are you guys running into? I'm going to pull up. Seems like the video on objections would be a good thing for us to do, it seems like. I am not your mom, says Paul Powers. That's you're right. Tim says, I'm your father. Okay. This is getting weird quickly, guys. Let's see what objections are what other objections are in here. Ooh, I didn't fill anything out. Comment below if you guys ever hear that one. Comment below if you guys ever hear that one all the time. I didn't fill anything out. I don't remember filling anything out. I thought it was free. If you guys run into any of those, comment below. If you're generating your own leads using our strategy, you definitely shouldn't be hearing I thought it was free. We took that objection out. Alrighty. So we're hearing I thought it was free, and we're hearing I only want to quote. Ugh, gross. I don't even know how the conversation gets there. Freaking gross. If somebody was to tell me that they only want to quote, I'd freaking backhand them. Let's go to work. Let me see. I'm going to check my little cheat sheet of objections here on the skeleton key script. If you guys don't have it already, definitely check it out. Let me see. Where am I at? All right, let's see. I'll do one at a time. So let's do 100. All right. So 5 minutes after they fill it out, I didn't fill anything out. I don't know what you're talking about, et cetera, et cetera. Now, if you're using direct mailers, super simple. Just show them the handwriting. Hey, Paul, is this your handwriting? Oh, okay, gotcha. And if they deny, some of them, I've had people just straight up deny it. They'll just literally be like, yeah, that's not my handwriting at all. And I'm like, oh, okay, gotcha. So who's forging your name? Like, what? We need to get to the bottom of this. And they're like, I'll be like, maybe one of your family members sent it in. Well, cool. Either way, I'm here now. Let's go over it. See, has anybody talked to you about this, et cetera, right? If they hit you with, I thought it was free, I've always just explained that it's not, hey, oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, the information is free. I know it can read a little funny sometimes, but basically the form you filled out, and then I'll just go back into the pitch. Super, super simple, super fast. Let's see. Ooh, here's one I've heard. I've got a couple of them. I like a lot of these, actually. I only want a quote. I'm okay, gotcha. Okay. Well, listen, Anna. Basically, I know you're saying you want a quote. All we have to do is ask you kind of some questions to see if you even qualify for this stuff. And then we can kind of go over what the quotes look like, okay? And then from there, the whole time, if you're building value throughout the conversation, like you would using the skeleton key script, you'd be able to end up getting the deal there. Because if they want a quote, they're freaking interested. But I have learned one thing. The people that only ever want to know the price are typically brokey. I never filled that out. Yep. If you get this one with like Facebook leads, I just touched on it with direct mailers. If you get it with Facebook leads, it's like, oh, okay. Gotcha. So, the one that I have listed here says that your high school mascot was a pirate. Is that correct? Yes. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, you had to manually type that one in. I don't know. Maybe it was one of your family members, but it sounds like there might be a concern about you getting life insurance here. Has anybody ever talked to you about this before? I'm just kind of seeking to understand there. How did you get my number? I didn't give permission for anyone to give out my info. I'd be like, Oh, okay. Yeah, gotcha. Me either. But, actually, I got this from the form that you filled out on Facebook. You requested information, listed that your beneficiary was going to be your daughter and that your high school mascot was a pirate, right? Does that sound correct? Or does that ring a bell? Something like that. And if they say no, I'd be like, oh, okay, gotcha. Well, I stumble across things on Facebook accidentally sometimes too, but you did fill this out. And either way, I don't sit around thinking about this stuff either. But since nobody's ever talked to you about it before, are you familiar with the difference between term and whole life? And I'll just kind of go into my next question or whatever, right? 5 minutes after they fill out the form, must have been my grandson. This one's actually really irritating. I don't like this one because I feel like it's just a bold-faced lie. Maybe it's not, but I'd be like, oh, okay, gotcha. So, I guess it's funny your grandson's thinking about life insurance. Has anybody ever talked to you about it before? And then they'll be like, oh, yes, they have. No, whatever. Or no. If they say no, then just go, hey, well, okay, gotcha. Are you familiar with the difference between term and whole life? And if they're like, no, whatever. Or if they hit with the yes, like, oh, yeah, somebody's already talked to me about it. Oh, okay, gotcha. So who'd you end up going with? And then you can kind of break them down there. Can we get text script? I don't know what you mean text script. I do not ever recommend texting a prospect. I would call them and I would close them. I would definitely not try and do a text script by any means. We have an automation that's set up through our CRM, Advanced Agent CRM, that would go through and book appointments for you, but we don't have any script for closing people via text. This is the first time on here. I haven't really started writing policies yet. Shakitha, welcome to the freaking live. This is where we run stuff. And yeah, I'm not going to say anything out of pocket on the live today, but welcome to the place where we're going to help you make six figures this year. So the biggest key to writing insurance policies is just going out and getting in front of people and then using the systems and techniques and structures that we give you, and you'll be able to knock it out of the park. Maybe how is your grandson trying to tell you something? How old is he? Yeah, that's funny. I'm always going to joke around also with prospects. Like, some people are so serious selling life insurance, but I will literally be such a clown. When I was door knocking, if I saw somebody who looked really old or something, I would just walk, hey, what's going on, young man? And, I'm just a clown. It's okay to have fun with these people because what we have to realize is yeah, you're there to sell them something, but they don't want to be sold and nobody ever talks to them. So it's okay to have fun with them and make a friend and talk to them. That's kind of what we're here for. It looks like your grandson is approving him to list him as a beneficiary. Yeah, you could say, I'm sure you could say that. I don't know what that would result in conversation. I've never said that myself. You could definitely try it out. Me personally, I would clown around and be like, dang, looks like your grandson's trying to collect a check. You know what I'm saying? Just joking about, but just some things that should be helpful for you guys. I'm going to give it another minute before I hop off here. And I'm already a few minutes over, but I want to make sure I can answer everybody's questions. Jacob says, for sure, it makes them bring their guard down if you make it a more relaxed interaction. Yeah, dude, I'm always so relaxed. I just talk like this to them. I don't there's no extra craziness or anything. I'm just super chill. Hey, what's going on? Da, 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 da. I'm just chilling. I might have a little more energy. I'm a little sick right now, so I'm not as as usual. But if I'm if I'm calling them on the phone, I'm just super relaxed, super chill. Exactly. Paul's saying, super relaxed, super chill. Literally this. If you guys can just get on the phone and just have a conversation, they're people. We're not everybody. I feel like everybody in sales, especially with insurance, is I'm gonna get one over on this prospect. I'm gonna get them. They really try to feel like they're backdooring their prospect. They have to twist their arm into getting them to get somebody signed up. I had one guy I used to work with who would just always talk about how he's going to go out and hard close these seniors. I'm like, dude, these people are in their 60s and 70s. Some of them are in their 80s. And it's absolutely insane to me. Tim said, hold on. I called an 85-year-old lady, cat orange whistling. I don't know what cat orange whistling is, but I thought you screamed at people on the phone. I have screamed at people before, like I've actually screamed at one guy and got him to sign up, but that was a very particular situation. I knew he would sign up if I yelled at him. So like it was a tactfully played thing. I am pretty loud, so I might if I might be like screaming on the phone, but like I'm just relaxed, I'm just super chill. Like I'm not trying to like hoodwink them or anything, or like I'm not trying to like do anything too crazy. Just staying solid, smooth, fluid, and fast. It's like slow is smooth, smooth is fast is what they say. I think. I enjoy getting them on the phone. I enjoy getting on the phone. I don't enjoy chasing them. Yeah, Paul, exactly, man. That's why you want to use the personal branding like we do with setting people up on Facebook, man. Because dude, you don't have to chase people down. They come to you. They know who you are. That is the dream, my friend. Is there any last questions before I hop off here? I'm going to give it like 10 seconds to see if we got any comments coming up. But I'm just going to leave up relaxed and chilled for now so that people can see that it's super important for us to just be mellow. You don't need to, oh my gosh, let's get you signed up, Miss Jones. Let's get you signed up. Like, no, Miss Jones, have you ever heard about this insurance stuff before? Has anybody ever talked to you about this? I don't know. What does that look like? What's the best way to get a qualified lead? The best way to get a qualified lead is, I'm going to put this down. The best way to get a qualified lead is to generate your own leads using video format and making sure that you are using consistent messaging and pre-framing for you to be able to get on the phone with them and have them recognize who you are, and then have a insurance direct, like a guided conversation around insurance. Sounds like a lot more than it is. It's simple, but that doesn't make it easy. So, that's what we're here for. It's what we're here to help with. And if you want us to help you out with how to generate those types of leads and everything, the highest intent leads in the industry, and, then you can, I think you can click the link in our Facebook group to book a call with either me or John or one of our client success managers to make sure that we can get you going in the right direction. But cool. Unless there's any other questions, I'm going to hop off here a few minutes after. Oh, we got another one. Someone that wants a policy but keeps giving you the runaround and always reschedule. How long would you chase them per se? This is a good one, actually. So, Jacob, it depends on the situation, right? If they're like texting me with that shit and always trying to get me to like, chase per se, then I would just be like, Jacob, this is the last time that I'm going to be able to reach out to you before I close out your case, right? I know that like Cody Askins used to tell people that he had a no callback policy. Literally, like he would just say, I have a no callback policy. There's so many people in line for this. I'm not able to call you back. You can use that one. I don't use that one really. I mean, it's not really my style. But I'm just going to say something along the lines of like, hey, so just so you don't have to chase me down, when are we going to be able to get a good time where you can lock in? And I'm going to always ask, like, is there any reason you can't make this? And if they keep giving me the runaround, I'm just going to be like, hey, Jacob, just shooting you a text real quick. Not going to be able to, we got to get something in the calendar here or whatever. Like, I'm just going to basically say, like, this is our last attempt to talk to you before we close out your case. Because if they're interested, but they're giving you the runaround and always rescheduling, it's probably because they don't value your time. They probably don't value their own, and they don't see the value of your service. So, it's not like just wouldn't keep it going for too long. Wish I have the money. Go out there and get some leads, or go out there and get some business, and you're going to get all the money you need. Make them chase you. Exactly. Create scarcity and urgency around yourself. If somebody's like, hey, man, I don't know when I can talk, whatever. I'm like, all right, well, cool, dude. I mean, I don't want you to have to chase me down so we can put something in the calendar here for us to get connected. But, if not, no big deal. I don't want to twist your arm or anything. You know what I mean? They're like, well, you're not twisting my arm. I just don't know when I'm free. Okay, gotcha. Well, I've got time available this time or this time, So just make them chase you, like Tim says. George GTZ says, what's good? What are you doing, playa? I'm doing this YouTube live. What are you doing, playa? That's Spanish for beach. So I'm gonna hop off here, guys. I'm gonna continuing doing playa things. Hope that you guys are making some bread out there, and I hope that this was helpful today. Sorry I sound weird, guys. Hopefully I'll be better next week, and we'll see if we can't get you guys. Paul Power says the money's good, playa. Love to see it. Love to see it. Out of 100 leads, usually on average, how many buy or pick up or show up? Well, Digital Zone Solutions, I will tell you that 10 out of every 100 leads should be expected to purchase. So hope that helps. Guys, have a good one. I've got to hop off here. Jacob, did you really just call me Tim, bro? This happens every time. You're welcome, man. All right. You guys have a good one. Peace.